guys, welcome back to the Game of Thrones Season 5 reviews. This will be the review of Episode 8, Hardhome. My goodness, the last portion of this story was really, really cool. It's a good episode throughout, and again it sets up quite a lot of interesting elements with all the different characters. And so getting into the story side of things, for Arya, Arya Stark is continuing her training as part of this religious cult that she's joined, to become a faceless one. And one of the many guises that she takes is the disguise of a girl called Lara, and this and Lara is this oyster merchant who is selling her oysters to a corrupt individual, and she has to sort of and this is her sort of test, if you will. Meanwhile, in the Sansa storyline, Sansa sort of realizes that her younger brother, the brother that went beyond the wall and we've not seen all season, is still alive. We then have the stuff going on with Cersei, and Cersei really having to show a lot of humility. And then we have what else do we have? And then we have the most brilliant scene of all with the crows, the free folk versus the ice zombies. So I'm gonna try and tackle all this as best I can. And let's start off with the Arya storyline. And the Arya storyline has really interested me. Has been a very interesting story. As I've mentioned throughout the season, I really like how Arya is going through something that many superheroes go through, to have to sort of become something else, to don on a mask and basically fight off corruption. Arya's going through a very interesting, almost superhero-esque arc, and I really like the continued exploration of who she is and what her identity is, and we can definitely see that this religious cult is sort of getting into her frame of thinking, and that she is starting to become something else. And yes, I was kind of referencing Arrow just then. But yeah, I mean, this that story arc just was really interesting. The stuff going on with Sansa, the Sansa Stark storyline hasn't really been has been a subject to recent debate on this channel, and I'm sure many people who are fans of this show, I've talked a lot about Sansa Stark in previous videos, and what her role has been in the show. Is she a strong character? All we really get this episode is the fact that her youngest brother might be alive. And this only highlights a problem I have found this season, is that the younger brother hasn't been shown all season. And it's kind of glaring. I probably wouldn't have noticed if they had not pointed it out. But it's kind of noticeable, the fact that this brother's not here. You know, and his absence is definitely, I think, is an interesting choice. Because I would actually have honestly rather that replace the youngest brother storyline actually would replace Sansa in a way, because the only thing that Sansa's serving at this point is to serve as a brewing war between Stannis and I can't remember, and Ramsay's family. That's the only role that she seems to play, is basically to have Stannis fight Ramsay's father. Moving swiftly on to Daenerys. I really like the interaction between Daenerys and Tyrion in this episode. Tyrion has this very cynical view of Westeros, and actually has come to believe that maybe Daenerys should actually just stay where she is. Should not seek to rule Westeros. This is again another glaring thing that this episode has pointed out. Lately, Daenerys' plot to get the throne in Westeros has really taken a sideline between her actually physically ruling. And as I've noticed, she's not actually very good at ruling. It's kind of ironic. Because when Daenerys was aiming to get, to go to Westeros, she had a goal in mind. But a large portion of this season and last season, she didn't have that goal. And I think, and I do sort of think that it might be time to maybe push Daenerys towards that goal, since it's been lacking. What else has happened this season? Oh, Cersei. I really found Cersei's storyline quite interesting. Cersei is kind of showing humility. She's being forced into situations that she wouldn't normally be in. And it's actually very, very interesting given the fact that she actually gave the sparrows power. And it really does have the moment. Her storyline really does give the motif. Power corrupts, absolutely. And power has definitely corrupted this sparrow organisation. She's given the sparrows the tools, and now she's suffering because of that. And it just goes to show what kind of issues that she has presented. So I found that really interesting. Finally, I just want to talk about the ending with the White Walkers versus the Free Folk and the Crows. That the final end of this episode made the episode for me, and I think kind of made the season for me. I wasn't actually expecting that this season was going to be a fighting season, and it does kind of come out of nowhere. It was just a very interesting final part of the episode. Obviously the ideas of zombies in this medieval world might be a bit far-fetched of an idea, but the look of these frost giant zombie type creatures were very interesting, and I found them very cool. And I like how Game of Thrones has given them their own unique style. You know, we have like shaman-based versions, we have the actual king version, and we just have some very interesting frost zombie type creatures that I found really interesting. I also thought that Jon Snow was a really cool character in this episode. I could definitely see this guy as king. I know from the books that doesn't entirely happen, but I did find him very cool, and I very much enjoyed him. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next episode, and what happens with the Jon Snow character. Anyway, I'm Robinax1 here, and I shall see you all very soon for the next Game of Thrones review. Bye.